3 videos of the same story. I wrote my AI a rule book and she broke it with effort. I made her check her own work and she followed the rules and gutted the page. I gave her eyes and the eyes started prescribing the violations. Then I auditioned better eyes and those invented colors. Every AI I added brought its own way of being wrong. So for this video, I did the thing I've been avoiding. I took the rules away from the AIs entirely. Here's the pattern across every failure. My style says everything flush left. The internet style, the millions of pages every one of these models learned from, says center it, and that habit showed up in the coder, then in the checklist blind spots, then in the eyes themselves. That's when it clicked. This isn't a flaw in one model. Every AI I added learned from the same internet, so every new layer arrives with the same habits already baked in. More inspectors just means more copies of the same blind spots. So the fix isn't another AI. It's something that never learned anything at all. Something that can't have habits, something that can't drift, and something that can't be talked out of a rule. The fix is a short list of instructions that runs the same way every single time. No training, no guessing, my rules, but automatic. The floor is 20 lines of plain boring code that runs after every AI has had its say. No intelligence, no judgment, no learning. Think of it as a find and replace that never sleeps. 3 laws. The first law is the text must be flush left. Any center or justified in the page gets struck. No exceptions, no negotiations. The second is lawful colors only. One red is legal. Mine. Any invented red, any keyword that's red, any near miss is corrected. For backgrounds, it's my paper color or my accent. Nothing else survives. The third is no ghosts. Styling for elements that don't exist gets deleted. If nothing wears the class is gone. The philosophy in one line. The models propose, the code guarantees. AI handles taste, law handles law. And everything the floor does gets printed to the receipt because silent enforcement is how you stop trusting your own tools. First live run with the floor in place. The new line in the receipt. Struck text aligned center, 2 instances. Corrected background. 2 things about that. The first is that the eyes had prescribed centering again. 3rd run in a row. And the coder had obeyed again. Same old story. But this time the page shipped flush left anyway because the law doesn't care what anyone upstream believes. And this includes the footer. Small detail, big deal. Every single page in this entire series had a centered footer. Every one. The coder plants it out of pure habit and no inspector, no checklist, not either set of eyes ever once looked down there. 5 pages, 5 violations, 0 catches. The floor killed it on contact. Second thing is the background it corrected was F9, F9, F9. A gray so close to my paper color that I can't see the difference, and I bet you can't either. The models drift in increments too small for human eyes. The code doesn't do close enough. And the cost for this law? Look at the receipt. 0 seconds. Every AI costs 10, 30, 70 seconds, and nothing leaks its habit. The law costs nothing and leaks nothing. To be fair about what the floor actually does, I ran the experiment properly. The same setup, floor switched off, here's what shipped. Headline centered, every paragraph centered, footers centered, and my favorite artifact of the whole series, the eyes instructed her to, and quote, remove the red accent from the download button. There is no download button. There never was a download button. The eyes hallucinated an element, then prescribed changing it, and the coder's compromise was a masterpiece. She styled a button with a transparent background, an invisible button that also doesn't exist, and then didn't create it anyway. Ran it lawless with new eyes too. Her invented bait shipped. The ink color drifted, and the house font got silently deleted from the page entirely. Every conviction from the last video delivered straight to production. One honest note though, the lawless pages weren't all bad. One run implemented the section dividers perfectly. Another added no rounded corners and no shadows to a button completely unprompted. The coder spontaneously being more lawful than asked. The floor doesn't make good pages. It makes them follow the rules. Those are different things, and the gap between them, that's where actual design taste lives, and it still doesn't live in any of these machines. So, step back, 4 stages now. The rulebook alone, wrong, with effort. The self-checklist, correct and empty. The eyes, better and fictional at the edges. The floor, lawful, guaranteed, and for free. And the receipts went from 675 seconds to 33. Is Vapor a designer yet? No. Here's my honest scorecard. Everything measurable, the colors, alignment, margins, and structure. We can now get that right between the eyes and the law. Everything that has to be felt, like composition, restraint, when a page is done, still comes exactly from one place. The human made examples I point her at, the reference image, and the style guide all came from me. Every trick in the series has really been one trick. It's been about finding new ways to smuggle human judgment into the machine. Rules of judgment written down. The reference is judgment photographed. The floor is judgment frozen into law, which leaves one method I haven't tried. It's the most direct smuggling route of all, and it's showing her the actual source code of pages a human design and saying, write it like this. That's next, and the floor gives me something I've never had for these experiments: a scoreboard. Every method now gets a violation count, how many times the law had to step in. If showing beats telling, that number should fall as 0. The receipts will show it, they always do.